Shanti Sarva Shanti.
Ugandan Asians like Chandrika Joshi have also added to the religious diversity of the UK. 40 years ago, the refugees came to Britain with a range of religions. And today, Chandrika's a practicing Hindu priest, just like her father was in Uganda.
Shivoham, Shivoham, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham.
Food is another multicultural contribution. Restaurants like this one are now a familiar part of Britain. But Bobby's was groundbreaking when it was opened in 1976 by owner Bhagwanjibai Lakhani. And today, traditional Ugandan food is still on the menu. So Nisha, this is how you bring a little bit of Uganda to Leicester.
That's right,
What
absolutely.
have we got?
So we've got cassava, which we actually call mogo. Basically, what we do is we make chips out of it, we grill it, and today, you know, what we're hoping to make is a curry with coconut.
And for you then, cassava is a real taste of being small in Uganda.
Uganda, that's right, absolutely.
So how important is it for you to keep the kind of Ugandan Asian traditions alive?
I think it's quite important because although I feel Leicester's my home, because I've been here long enough to feel that, there is still enough nostalgia around Uganda and the fact that I come from there. So there's still part of me that kind of resonates with that. I also feel for my children it's quite important to know about where their mum and their grandparents in particular come from.
So, individual Ugandan Asians have clearly created profitable businesses and successful lives here in Britain, just as their forefathers did in Uganda. But you have to come to Leicester to see the remarkable impact they've had as a community.
They built really successful businesses. You know, in Leicester, for instance, 30,000 jobs created by just 10,000 Ugandan Asians over the past 40 years. One of the most interesting things is that they really have taken on citizenship in Britain. That's a very interesting contrast to some of the other migrant groups who've arrived, where perhaps they've been quite successful economically, but they've been more reluctant to engage in the whole community.
Leicester's Belgrave Road is the beacon of Ugandan Asian success. In 1972, this was a rundown area that attracted the immigrants because property was cheap. Today, they've helped to transform it into the Golden Mile, an Asian business and shopping area that has a worldwide reputation. Sir Peter Soulsby became a city councillor in 1973. So he's seen every step of the Ugandan Asians' British journey.
The Ugandan Asians who came to Leicester came carrying very little in their suitcases, but what they brought with them was a range of skills, a determination, an ambition for themselves and for their children that has, over the succeeding decades, affected every aspect of the life of our city and enriched every aspect of the life of our city, and for which we are enormously grateful.
And even the Leicester Asians, who 40 years ago wanted nothing to do with the immigrants, have changed their view.
I think we were all wrong, because 40 years on, it's the best thing that happened to Leicester. The Golden Mile, if it wasn't for these people, I'm not saying all of them, but majority of them, it's put Leicester on the map throughout the world.
But as you might expect with a community that's rebuilt itself on British soil, the Ugandan Asians are now searching out new horizons, but back in the old country.
How's it going?
Clifton Packaging is another Ugandan Asian success story. It packages foods for major high street names. And now Chairman Khalid Sheikh is returning to Africa to give the economy there a helping hand.
We have excelled to become experts in our field of food packaging. We've got knowledge, and we want to transfer this knowledge back to Uganda and help them.
The President of Uganda has visited the Leicester factory to encourage the creation of new links. And with Khalid's help, Uganda could earn much more from its natural resources.
I created an organization and a brand called Baba buy African, build Africa, love Africa as you love your mother.
If products like water and coffee can be packaged up like this, they can then be sold on for considerably higher profits.
And primarily, the excitement of going back, apart from personal sentimental reason, is to put something back into the country where we spend the best part of our childhood.
The 40th anniversary of the expulsion now marks a transformation of the lives of the exiles and of Britain itself.
And they used to live in a small hut like that.
As they recall happy times in their former homeland, these Ugandan Asians are safe in the knowledge that they have helped Britain develop into a more tolerant multicultural country, one that seems worlds removed from the 1970s.
Because I used to have mangoes when I came home from school.
Certainly have brought colour. These are all Swahili words.
And the city where their numbers and their influence have been the greatest will soon have reached 2 landmarks. It's expected to become the first in Britain with a minority white population. And it's already being held up as a multicultural success story.
And people come from all over Britain, from all over Europe, to look at our model of racial harmony.
It is generally the case that we have a degree of cohesion in the diversity of Leicester that others envy, and I think rightly so.
So, 2 generations after the most dramatic upheaval in their history, Ugandan Asians are once again playing a lead role in a foreign country they're now proud to call home.
We made it. We came out of Uganda. We were determined, like lots of Ugandan Asians have done. I'm very proud of them, actually, that we have mixed into our communities.
We can tell the world that we've been instrumental in contributing towards the prosperity of the United Kingdom in the same way as our parents were doing in Uganda before we were kicked out.
The fact that I've got a dog now, which I could never even think when I was a child, because we never knew anyone who had pets. You know, every time I take him for a walk, I think, my God, see how British I've become now.
And Britain has reason to be proud of the Ugandan Asians too, 40 years after they became somewhat uninvited guests.
You can certainly see a parallel between the experiences of the Ugandan Asians and the experiences, if you like, of the broader British journey towards understanding multiculturalism. In contributing to this multicultural society, they've really challenged this idea that migration should always be seen as a threat, it's something to be feared, because they've shown that actually it can be a real opportunity to develop, not just for the migrants, but also for the communities that they join.
And Britain's links with Uganda could soon become even stronger. There are now plans to twin Leicester with the Ugandan town of Jinja. Now, if you'd like more information on tonight's programme, please visit our website at itv.com/tonight. But for now, good evening and thanks for watching. Coming up tomorrow night, the first of 3 special Tonight programmes looking at the food we eat, how it's produced and why it's getting more and more expensive.
You'll be able to see for yourself the interesting marketing techniques lawyers use in order to attract new business, and the case of the performance poet accused of benefit fraud. The briefs is at 9. Will Marlon ruin the big day? We're back to Emmerdale next.